Hello, wonderful people. I am Chris Odom. I'm going to work with you a little bit today on lesson planning and internalization and show you where some of those tools are and how to best utilize them in our district resource called Studysync. Okay, so share my screen. First thing, we're just going to go in and look as we are in the main dashboard as if we were just getting started. Home page lets you know that because it has your name and says welcome back, right? Okay, so in order to find the lessons and the progression, the thematic units, we go into this core ELA tab and you can see all the grade levels listed. Let's just go ahead and stay with 7th grade as it's set up for us here. One important document that sometimes is overlooked is this entire 7th grade overview page. And in this page, it contains a tremendous amount of information for you to preview as the teacher in what we might call lesson internalization instead of just planning. So being that this document is so large, it makes sense if you were to take the time to go ahead and print it off and really do some thinking on it yourself, maybe do some annotating and some digesting of particular things that you want to make sure that you focus on as it relates to the lessons and the way that they are designed. So a lot of early information here. And then what happens as you keep going down this document is it turns into really specific information about each text. The texts are listed in order as they appear in the unit. And then from there, they're also kind of identified as to the relationship they have to the essential question. And if I can find one down here, a lot more information. Here's the first one. Both the qualitative features of what makes the text what it is and specific information about sentence structure and prior knowledge that we might want to feature. A lot of this can help us pull out the information that we're going to find most relevant and then also transferable so that we can see that in the unit that we're really practicing some specific things for some specific reasons. So lets you know the skill lessons, lets you know that we will be writing what particular style or what kind of writing, in this case, in the 7th grade, in the close read for the first read of Tiki Tiki Tavi, looks like you are writing a literary analysis, okay? So, and then again, all this is provided for every one of the readings. The second reading features the same discussion and obviously a great chance for you to plan and prepare for teaching that text. Okay, so that's the overview, and we really haven't even made it into the text itself. These other two tabs are also valuable and can help you think about standards and what we're approaching. Let's go ahead and go into the first unit. To do so, we go into the core ELA tab. And you'll find in this view, there's even a chance for you to prepare and internalize more as the educator that's going to use this material. It's extremely important that you've done your thinking about where we're going and why. And really the overview page, as you'll see, it's up here at the very top of all of these tabs, could be both for you to play this video for your students, but also for you to mine these paragraphs and these little helpers here as to where we're going, what's coming. So any of these buttons that you open expand and help you get a sense of the inherent structure of the unit and really can help you be prepared for some of the challenges that you think we will expect in the midst of instruction. Okay, so that kind of preparedness and that kind of planning means that you do know we're going to need to support specific skills. And it's a really powerful way to get ready. Okay, so two documents that are also really good and useful for following the plan and understanding the logic as the progressions of the units lead to the next and lead to the next throughout every unit. You would go into what's called the unit pacing guide, and it's hanging out right here even before we've ever made it, again, into any of the readings. And this pacing guide is very specific and helps you see that we're going to do a specific reading paired with a specific standard and a specific skill. But we're also going to expect that as we go on in the unit, we're going to need to come back to specific skills and to spiral on purpose. So it's not that we're leaving anyone behind, it's that momentarily we're moving on and that we have a plan for coming back to that as the unit goes on. A lot of these particular standards lend themselves to being in lots of our texts as we keep reading down the road. So it's a chance to bring up specific skills that we know are going to need reteaching. Okay, so looking at this document, you can see that there's a specified amount of time to stay on a particular reading and a specified amount of skills that we're going to utilize it for practice with. And as we keep moving through the unit, what's really exciting is it's going to turn into a focus on some writing. And you might go through this entire view and say, I didn't see it yet. And so you really have to kind of pick up on this break in the document is for you to rethink, wait a minute, back there on day 16, when we were in the midst of doing some of the other readings in class, these pair readings, Stargirl in 7th grade, that we were also going to work on introducing the extended writing project. The extended writing project is the final part of each unit and is a chance to utilize the essential question as the writing prompt. There's also a number of different prompts when teachers get in and start looking at about assigning this one, that if you decide to customize this prompt, you'll find that there's multiple choices available for the teacher to choose from. Okay, and then the final 2 days of each unit, we're really doing an intentional skills review and then taking that end of unit assessment. Those end of unit assessments are really set by the teacher so that it doesn't have one particular district-wide window, but the window should happen, the day or days after you finish the entire first unit, and accordingly for the second unit and the third and the fourth. We want you to fully review, have things remain when they're the freshest, and then go ahead and give that assessment that very next day. Okay, so the unit again, it contains all of these challenging ways to dig in, but really we haven't been challenged too much if we know how to navigate. So remember, the unit overview is here for you. And this is a page again with a video to kind of cause curiosity. It contains all of the pacing guides. It also contains kind of a general discussion for you, the educator, to kind of own where we're going. Okay, but once we start the unit, we're in this next tab, and it's just below unit overview, which is kind of the most logical place that we're just going to work our way down this path. And you can see exactly how just below it is even the extended writing project and grammar lessons. So we're really working our way from top to bottom. Same is true when you get in this screen and you see the instructional path and how it parallels the particular guidance documents that I've pulled up and shown you here. So Rikki Tikki Tavi starts us off. And in this case, there it is, where we would unpack that little dot and start to find yet more chances for us to prepare to teach these lessons. The most exciting being that these lesson plans are already built, developed, strong, and based around a lot of collaborative discussion and interactive lesson design. So it is really an important move to realize that when we get into these lessons, you can see how it's breaking up some of the grouping for various activities, but it's also trying to keep instruction fresh, interesting, and very interactive. So these particular documents give you a sense of how to begin the lesson, how to lead the lesson, how to lead the discussion. It provides information like the answers of the various questions that we are asking for comprehension. It provides even strategies for us to utilize for turn and talk and various other high yield instructional strategies. So do know that there is a lesson plan for each one of those that also coincides with the lesson plan that is embedded electronically for you, the educator, to utilize while you're teaching the lesson, kind of at point of use. And as you're practicing and getting better with utilizing the lesson and the way these lessons flow, it might make sense to pull up this little helper document the same way that others would use a scaffold, you would for your own lessons. And then you would feel like you had it more fluid and that you didn't need this as much, then it might not appear on your screen. So I think your students would be willing to say, hey, you need these little things as you navigate the lesson because it's so new, and not by any means take it out on you that you were using them even in front of them, launched on your screen, as we felt like it gave the lesson a lot of structure. Okay, internalizing it would even be better, where we've seen all this before. It feels more theatrical, like you're just prepared for anything and you have all these great questions and all these great moves to make throughout the lesson, because it's really already set up for you for it to be pretty successful in the event that you follow a lot of these parts and pieces. If you're not a teacher that really does a lot of text talk, then this will help guarantee that that's part of the lesson. If this is something that you do sometimes, but not always, then it'll more routinize that we make part of it. If you haven't used the writer's notebook before, or particular efforts like doing the research links or a jigsaw, then you can see how, in this case, it'll kind of lead us towards some of those strategies. Okay, so this is a number of ways you could lesson plan and prepare, as you're also aware that you have a very good sized teacher's edition that's hardbound, and that all of this information is also inside of there. So you could annotate, make notes to yourself, and plan for how you implement these lessons. I hope this has been helpful. Uh, have a great day.